Hello. Hello. Did your TC about Cassie get proven right? Depends. I mean, it's 4.5. Things can change by then. But the thing is, it's less TC and more like the most obvious outcome. Like, it literally required zero brain power to be like, you know, Evernight is a really strong memo buffer. Hyacine is really important on these teams. And Cyrene is also just as important with Evernight. And then Cassie provides fuck all but damage. You know, which one's gonna get replaced if that happens? I mean, I have an E2 S1 Cassie on my main account. So, like, respectfully, I'm not pulling Robin, okay? You know, at least in my personal case, I am not pulling Robin. I'm just gonna stick with the E2 S1 Cassie. But, like, for people on very low investment Cassies or no Cassie at all, Robin will probably end up being better. Argenti is a good replacement for Saber? Hell no. I'll only pull if she buffs Eggy, but I doubt it. Yeah. I think we talked about this last time, Verdly, where I was like, that would be cool, but I highly doubt it just because, like, Eggy is just not as popular. Like, if they're going to make a new Rem character, they'll just shill it to the HP team, unfortunately. This company is so predictable. It's disgusting. What's this? Oh. Just give me more coins, man. Where's the Nova Flare kits in the beta? Brother, there's no Nova Flare in 4.4. I would say Hoyo did castorice dirty with the buff with Cyrene. Okay, here's the way I see it, right? Here's the way I see it. Robin, even if she's stronger than Cassie, if you already own Cassie, this doesn't matter that much. And the reason I say this is Cassie is probably one of the top contenders among the Ampho DPSs because of her sheer popularity to get Nova'd in 5.x. Right. So you had a year and a half of Cassie being in this mono rem team as the best DPS for it. Then you go, let's say, a year with Robin taking that crown, and then the second Cassie gets Nova'd, she goes straight back to being better than Robin and best in slot with mono rem again. So because of the existence of Nova flares, like I'm seeing people crash out all over on social media. As someone with Cassie and who is a Cassie main, I really don't think this matters that much because of Novas. Oh shit, I missed out on the tribby. Do you think E0 well is bad for Himiko? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I haven't bothered with Himiko at all. When I saw how like complicated her kit was yesterday, I decided to just only focus on Saber and Gilga and Archer Rin. So I don't really know what's going on with Himiko, to be honest. Yeah, the second I saw like the assist skill shit, I was like, oh hell no, I'm too tired for this. I did see some gameplay on social media though. The assist skill seems like, well, she kind of works like a Fua unit, I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes the mech just comes in for a follow up and does like a milli damage. Himiko animations are peak. I mean, yeah, it's to be expected from a main push. Rip Cassie indeed. Hello, Solus. Oh, thanks for the simple explanation, Johan. Himiko best in slot for Herda. Let's all be honest, right? This is the equivalent of like saying M-Blade is best in slot for Thirda, where it isn't wrong, but why would you do that to those characters? You know, like they're those poor souls being shackled to Herda team. Not all of us do the cringe thing of abandoning old teams because of the shiny new toy. I don't say it because of that. I say it because there's a 99% chance that Herta actually gets a dedicated teammate and probably half a year after Himiko's release, in which you having wasted all these pulls on like Himiko and stuff was literally for nothing. Like Tribby could get a Nova Flare, Thirda could get a Nova Flare, Argenti Nova Flare could be for Thirda. Like there are so many different ways she can get buffed. I don't know if I'd be like, yeah, go for Himiko, man. That's definitely gonna be the optimal one. Yeah, exactly. Like we are basically by the time Himiko is out, we're like halfway through V4, and I'd assume like keep in mind Sunday's in the next batch of Novas, right? And Sunday legit released on the last patch of version 2. We are very, very close to getting version 3 character Novas right now. We're getting really close. That doesn't mean anything, Yumi. The Herda upgrade will either be some random Nova Flare for an old character or getting an upgrade by mistake with a new universal support. No, but this is my point. The most likely outcome for Argenti's Nova Flare is sub DPS for the Herda. And Tribby is also a pretty good candidate for a support getting Nova Flared in V5. So if Tribby gets a Nova and then Argenti gets a Nova and becomes a sub DPS for Thirda, like, she'll be good. I don't think Tribby will get one since Robin didn't. The only reason Robin probably isn't getting a Nova Flare is because her SP is releasing in like 2 patches. And plus, if they Nova Flared Robin, it would be counterintuitive for them because they're currently making an entirely new follow-up team. So if they Nova Flare Robin, like, you suddenly have to make someone even stronger than Nova Flare Robin legit 1 or 2 patches afterwards for the follow-up team. Sparkle got a Nova Flare? Yes, but one, they completely played into it being like lore accurate for the Sparkle Nova Flare and implementing it into the story. And two, Sparkle's Nova Flare didn't conflict with Elation supports. which is the point. A Robin Nova Flare would conflict with making a new Fua team and also new Fua support. Like if you make a Nova Robin, there is a solid ass chance that like Ashvale or Emblade get kicked out. Like you guys need to understand, Robin is busted because of the team wide action advance. The only thing underwhelming about her is her energy regen, and her buffs are a bit dated for an AoE support these days. If they Nova flared her, either one of those two would get kicked no matter what. Oh yeah, I do think she might get a Nova eventually. It's just not now, because it would conflict with them trying to sell a new Fua team. SP has nothing to do with Nova Flare. It does though. Like once again, you are nitpicking the one example where literally two sparkles exist in the actual game at the exact same time and are split personalities. Like this is the only example of this happening, which is why Sparkle got Nova'd for Sparksy and it was on the same patch. It was completely lore accurate. It's like it's the exception, I feel like. It's not really the rule. Like if Robin SP was, I don't know, like a second half of Robin and then it played into the story that those two together are like relevant, then yeah, I could maybe see it. But without that being the case, hell no. Because if anything, like currently would be the most opportune time to release a Sunday SP for Himiko. And that isn't happening. I feel like there's a reason why like Sparkle and Sparksy, like that's the only one. Crazy they made Robin replace Anniversary Flagship. I'm gonna be completely honest. I think a lot of people are looking at this wrong. I think the most likely case scenario is what I've been saying for quite a while. Evernight main DPS already consistently beats Cassie Mono Rem with Evernight majority of the time. Not all the time, but majority of the time unless you're at like whale levels of investment. So what happens when you give main DPS Evernight another limited support that isn't RMC? You know? I feel like that's more so what's happening here. It's either a duo DPS scenario like the fake characters currently, or Evernight gets an upscale because there's now another limited REM support. Bro saw the leak and clicked the live button so fast. Bro, do you know how many people have been on my ass over my take that Cassie's gonna get replaced in Mono Rem? Like, even just a few days ago, I think I made a post on this, and people were in my comments coping like crazy. Of course I'm going to take advantage of this. And I'm a Cassie main. I'm not I'm not replacing Cassie with Robin, you know? Fuck that. But I do find it pretty funny. She's going to get Nova flared anyways. I don't really care. Nova flares have like completely changed my perspective on the game. I don't care if my Cassie isn't best in slot for a year, because then she's gonna get Nova, and then Robin isn't best in slot anymore. You know, like no matter what, I just win in the end. I don't care if they do that to Cassie. In fact, power creep Cassie so hard so that her Nova flare makes her that much stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, please go ahead. Yeah, give Cassie the Firefly treatment. Give her a Nova. Give one of the Rem supports a Nova. Give Hyacine a Nova. Oh my god. Imagine that. A Hyacine Nova flare. Ugh. Cassie's gonna have to go through her 8 patch of humiliation like Firefly? Yeah, basically. Phanon is probably getting one before Cassie. I don't disagree. But Cassie would still get one eventually. Aren't the only good Novas on supports? No. What? I mean, support Novas are more valuable because they're supports. But no, like Firefly's Nova was quite significant as well. Don't you think the leakers might have misinterpreted something? How would Robin work with Cyrene in the team? Why do people keep saying this? I keep seeing this take. You guys, okay. Evernight only needs to be buffed once. Hyacine doesn't need to be buffed at all because she's a sustain. She gets passively buffed. The only person on the team who needs to get buffed is Robin. There is full uptime on every single buff. Cyrene's buff to Evernight buffs more the entire team's damage. Evernight is a remembrance support. She has an E1 that buffs it. She has an S1 that buffs it. Hyacine's the best Rem max HP sustain. Like, there's no anti-synergy. There's literally nothing... There's nothing bad with the team at all. The buff is mid? I mean, yeah. But if you find the buff mid, then you can just run Cyrene as main DPS. And just spam her basic. If you don't care about the damage bonus. Like, you guys need to understand, Cassie's buff wasn't all that special either. You know? Like, genuinely. Cassie's buff from Cyrene, especially if you're playing like E2 Cassie, you literally never take advantage of it. Because you always want to explode the dragon at 100%. It's no different. But the difference is Robin is a newer character nearly 1.5 years later. So she's probably going to be significantly stronger than Cassie. You take advantage of it in single target fights regardless of E2. I mean, sure. But once again, it's like the lowest, most insignificant buff on that entire team. Like, you can nitpick niche scenarios as much as you want, but it's not going to hold up to a new character being released 1.5 years later. Like, this is HSR. It doesn't matter. If you're an Annie main push who got the most shield team in the history of the game so far, you're getting power crept once a new version hits. If they want you to. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, Robin can literally do anything, and she'd be better than Cassie on the Mono Rem team in terms of buffing the team. Not even damage-wise. Like, of course, she's going to have some damage, but literally any type of some type significant buffing for these Rem characters on the team, and she'll be better than Cassie. That's all that's needed. Because Cassie's buffing is nearly non-existent on this team. She has like a little bit of damage bonus, and then when her territory's up, there's res down, but the territory disappears the second she explodes her dragon, which you want to do every single time. You always want to explode the dragon. So your teammates can basically never take advantage of it anyways. You know? No, Robin could be duo DPS. Either duo DPS with Evernight or Evernight's the main damage dealer. It's either or. To be honest, another scenario where Robin, even without buffing, if they copy OG Robin's team-wide action advance and they give it to Robin SP as well, this would also massively buff Evernight. Like, Evernight is the Rem character who most values action advance. So if they do that, even without including buffing, just the advance, that would also put her above Cassie for that team, if she has some synergies alongside it. I find it funny that you think Argentinova is the Herda bot. I mean, no offense, but you need to understand that most Nova Flares are done with, oh, we're going to Nova Flare this character for this other team, right? Like, there needs to be some motive behind it. There is no way for them to make a profit off of making Argenti just a stronger DPS. There's no profit. Doesn't make any sense. And I can't really think of any other teams that would even care about a Nova Argenti except for Herta. She's literally the only one. It could be someone else. But like the most likely case scenario is definitely just a third of bot. Is there even a point in using Hyacine without Cass? Yes? Bro. What sustain do you guys think Evernight uses? Like, I get what you guys are getting at, because technically the most synergistic DPS in the REM characters with Hyacine is Cass. But that's not a buff. That's a restriction. Like, Cassie barely functions without a Hyacine on her team. It's much more a restriction than like a good synergy that buffs the team. Are you pulling for Himiko? No plans right now. Yeah. Like, once again, I just don't think this is that big of a deal. Because Cassie's going to end up getting Nova anyways at some point. And then Robin's going to be worse than Cassie for like a year and a half. Until she gets a Nova. And it's like a back and forth. This really only matters for people who have made zero investment on Cassie for Mono Rem. And they're like Evernight mains. Evernight main DPS runners, you know? Like, this is who this mostly benefits, in my opinion. Unless Robin is so strong that she ends up power creeping like E2 Cassie, then okay. I can semi understand the complaints. But even then, I'm still not pulling Robin. Bro, how the hell am I gonna get the pulls for Blade? Jeez. Do I have a generalist support on this account that I can just use? Sylvie? This might be my last ditch effort to use on a Saber Gilga team, because I don't think I can get M-Blade on this account in time. What do you plan to pull then from future units? Gilga. This account has an E2 Saber, so Gilga. Why are you against Robin? Huh? I'm not. I just don't care about her because my Mono Rem account has an E2 S1 Cassie. Like, no offense, You are out of this world if you think I'm kicking out an E2S1 Cassie. Do you know how much time I put in for that? Do you know the money I put in? Like, listen. Robin could be stronger than an E6 Cassie. You know what she doesn't have? A dragon. That's right. She doesn't have a cool ass dragon. So it doesn't matter when you really think about it. Who cares about meta if it means you can't have a dragon anymore? You know? What if she has a bird? Then the dragon will eat the bird. Dragons are better than birds. What's with this bird glaze all of a sudden? Nobody cares about birds. I like Eastern dragons. There you go. Rock beats scissors as combo. I mean, I'm being dead serious. I've always talked about this. The main thing that attracts me in this game to pulling characters, of course, meta value is very important. However, at the top, at equal value for me, is animations and animation design and the theme around it. Cassie's animations are so cool to me. I genuinely love them so much with the dragon and stuff. I've been hyped for her since that first teaser of Ampho showing the dragon, you know? So, there's leaked that Robin removes Cass from Rem team. No way. That's crazy. Thank you. Oh, I was telling someone in chat. Oh. I was trying to troll a little bit. My bad. I do the Rem split team thing, and then you could use Robin on E9 team. No. The only issue with Rem split is that there isn't a sustain to split. That's kind of the only problem. Like, it would work if there was a second Hyacine, but there isn't right now, which is a bit of a problem. But if they were to ever make another, HP scaling sustain, then yeah, full splitting the team would definitely be a lot more viable. I will say, Cassie's more reliant on Hyacine for her performance than Evernight is reliant on Hyacine, but Evernight still very much prefers Hyacine over any other sustain for her teams, is a thing. Like, you'll still see that drop off. Evernight can easily run sustainless. Easily is a severe overstatement. Thoughts on the fade animations? Um, I think Rin's joint attack is better than Gilga and Saber's, but I think Gilga's ult is probably the best animation among the entire Fate collab. The joint attacks are really cool though. I'm happy either way. I'm not gonna lie. This account is actually the Bitcoin account. This might be my new main. Because, like, bro, there are so many teams on this account that just keep getting buffed or Nova flared. Because I got an E0 S1 Archer for free in 3.4. So it's like, I could technically also get Rin. Then I have an Archer Rin team. I have an E2 Saber Gilga team. I have Dot. I have Firefly. I'm going to pull M-Blade for either Acheron or Fei Xiao soon. I have Argenti, so if he gets Nova, my Thirda gets buffed. I have Topaz. She's also in the next batch. So I might be able to invest in follow-up with her as well. You know? Like, this is actually the god account of, like, horizontal investment. Would you get E1 Archer or Gilga for this account? 100% Gilga. That's the main goal for this account currently. Well, outside of trying to somehow squeeze M-Blade in the next 21 days after I just lost the 50-50, yeah, it's Gilga, and I want E1 Gilga as well. Because E1 Gilga is pretty nice. If you wouldn't be biased, would you rather pull for Archer team or Saber team? Uh, Probably Archers. It depends, because if you're depending on how long term of a player you are, Archer's team is cheaper, which is what's nice about it. Sparkle with Nova Flare was free in 4.0, you know? Archer was free. His light cone, if you spent 200 pulls, you could have gotten it during 3.4. His E1 can now possibly be free as well. Like Archer's team, they both perform pretty well, but the difference is Archer has had way more free characters for his team. Like way more free, which makes it a lot more accessible. Although I will say the Gilgamesh team, in my opinion, looks more fun with Saber. Like they're constantly spamming attacks and follow up in ults. It's really cool. Yeah, exactly, Yumi. Is Gilga usable without Saber? It's the same thing I've always said. You can make him usable by giving him the most disgusting wheelchair with like the M Blade team, but is it optimal? Not even close. Like he's noticeably weaker in comparison to when he's paired with Saber. How does Rin investment look like for an Archer team? I'm gonna be honest. I tried to understand what her E1 did yesterday, and I genuinely could not tell. I don't exactly know what it does. I was so tired, but E1 Gilga was simple. King's Acknowledgement applies to all teammates. King's Acknowledgement gives 30% defense shred. So Gilga's was kind of obvious, even though I was tired. But Renzi 1 is like, oh, Shadow Gem. Shadow Gem. Consume Shadow Gems. And then this goes into the enhanced skill that she has. I forgot what it's called. But it does like a decent amount of damage, and it regens or consumes skill points. Where's the Himiko vid? Buddy, I do not want to read out assist skill like 50 different times. Just kidding. I'll end up doing it at some point. I'll end up doing it at some point. Renzi 1 just makes her have more stacks and always use her enhanced skill. It allows her to be run outside of Archer, but also a nice increase for him. Oh. Well, thanks. Makes her consume less skill points in her enhanced skill. Oh, I see. Okay. Sounds pretty good. I heard Rin Vertical's save for E1 is kinda shit. Uh, that's basically every fake character. This is the price you have to pay for basically infinite banners. You have to let some of the Eidolons get butchered, I guess. Who do you think is more free-to-play friendly between Himiko, Rin, and Gilga? I mean, it's technically Rin because she's tied to Archer. And Archer is like the goat of a free team in this game. Like E1 Archer plus Nova Sparkle with DDD plus Rin plus Don Hung PT is legit a one cost team. Like there's a chance that team can zero cycle. Gabby, who do you think has the highest potential to replace Silverwolf? Team Sparksy or Yao Guang? Neither. None of them are leaving Silverwolf's team. Yeah. I just the most annoying part about betas and when you're hyped for them is when it finally comes out and you're like anticipating the patch release. I'm gonna be honest, I I'm not really hyped for Himiko at all. I don't really feel it in me. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna pull Himiko on any of my accounts. This is the first time a main push hasn't interested me in quite a while. Yeah, like I've been scrolling social media a bit, and I've been seeing like slander against Silverwolf for like, oh, the real main push is here. Look at these animations. But I'm gonna be honest, I prefer Silverwolf over Himiko. I like Himiko way more. That's understandable. I mean, everybody has their own personal preferences. It's just that personally, this is the first time in a while I just haven't fucked with a main push that much. I hope Ash won't rerun on 4.4. I mean, yeah, I guess he could rerun by that time, but I don't know. I feel like that's a little too fast. Maybe they do it like 4.5. I wonder why Silverwolf got a territory but Himiko didn't. I'm pretty sure she does have a territory. I was reading it in her kit on Nanoka yesterday. Oh, Silverwolf didn't get a territory? Uh, to be honest, I actually don't remember if Silverwolf does or doesn't have a territory. Silverwolf doesn't? Oh. Silverwolf is a zone and not a territory? Okay. Answer probably someone else on her team may get it. I'm not I'm not falling for the Nihilux cope. I used to be on the Nihilux cope, but I think at this point she might just be a main DPS. My old prediction that she'd be like a sustain for the Elation teams is kinda fading away. And I don't see Sparksy or Yao Guang getting kicked out. My guess, okay, my guess, Pearl is Elation sustain, and then the core for every single Elation team is Yao Guang plus Pearl, outside of Avon. Because Avon seems to have this weird ass gimmick where he wants no Elation characters on his team. But for the rest, it'd be like Nihilux is a main DPS, Yao Guang plus Pearl is the core for supporting it, and then if you're getting any dedicated teammates, you can replace EMC. You know, kind of the same thing with like Silverwolf gets Sparksy, but Evanescence is stuck with EMC. Yeah, it'd be no different to Break, to be honest. Like, Break all want Dahlia, they all want May, they all want HMC, they all want Fugue. But it's just different DPSs that use the same supports. Break has more supports than Elation does? Yeah, because Break took nearly 2 years to get Dahlia. And they got Fugue at the end of version 2. Before that, it was just Ruan Mei and HMC. Which is literally the current case scenario. Where Elation characters only have Yao going in EMC. Did Anon leak the Robin SP today? No, that what Anon leaked that Robin SP is in first half of 4.5. And then Full Stop Chan was the one that followed up with Robin is replacing Cassie in the Mono Rem team. But I'm gonna be honest, Full Stop Chan has been basically just as reliable as Anon lately. The only thing they've gotten wrong is the fake collab being in 4.3 when it was actually 4.4. That's literally the only thing. So he might be genuinely the second most reliable leaker in the entire space right now. Next to Adon, and he's saying this. Full Stop Chan also leaked the Nova Flares. No Nova Flares yet. What a fraud. He leaked the next batch of Nova Flares. He never leaked that they were in 4.4. All of you just assumed it was in 4.4. That's not the leaker's fault. You know? Yeah, Verly. I mean, also, I don't think Hoyo was ever going to consistently do Nova Flares every 2 patches. So my guess is that the Nova Flares are probably in 4.5 or 4.6. Bladen Yao banner feels so long. Eh. Not long enough. Because I might not even be able to get this guy in time. Phew. You're cooked for the 200 pull event? I don't care. I'm pulling Gilga, and from what I saw of Gilga's light cone on Anoka, that shit looked mid as fuck. I'm sure it's another Archer light cone situation where it barely matters, if not less. Damn it, I don't have any good destruction light cones. Is Gilga LC as mid as Archers or worse? I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen any calcs. I'm just going off of what I saw yesterday. It looked like another one of those supportive light cones that like have a little bit of like, a little bit of energy, a little bit of other stuff. But in the long run, it doesn't really fucking matter. And it doesn't make that big of a difference, so. I'd rather just go for Gilga's Eidolons as E1. Like, bro, Gilga's E1 gives the team 30% defense shred. Gives him a bit of an attack increase. And it also had some other part in it as well. With, like, more energy regen, I believe. Like, his E1 is definitely the prize. I could care less about his Lycone. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people thirsting over the art for it, but I'm not really a guy who cares about Lycone art, so. Actually, let me recheck. What does Gilga's E2 do? I swear I remember it being so trash, which was a little disappointing, but. Eh. Yeah. It's not all that. The only annoying part about Saber and Gilga team for me currently is that I have 3 teams fighting over Emblade. Fei Xiao, Acheron, and my Saber Gilga comp. So I'm thinking like I might try and use Silverwolf because Silverwolf gets ult incredibly often, right? And I believe Gilga regens his energy every time someone on the team ults. And I have E1 Silverwolf, so I get more energy. So with Silverwolf's ult spam, I think it might be able to semi make up for Blade, and I can put Blade on like one of these other teams. It would have been nice if I could have lost to E2 Silverwolf instead of Blade on here. That would have been so nice. Because then you get like 20% more vulnerability as well. Is Blade that good for Gilga and Saber? Yes. It's not difficult for Blade to get his ultimate. However, also his buffs are just that potent. So, he's basically best in slot in any duo DPS team. Like, it's 30% defense down, 50% vulnerability, decently high personal damage as well. Gets his ult pretty frequently. It's not like it takes a million years or anything. Like, but I mainly just want M-Blade for the Acheron on this account. Because I know it's already been leaked. Acheron's gonna get like the paid DLC shit somewhere in this version. So yeah, that's mainly who I want M-Blade for. Hi, when did you talk about Cass being dead? I think a couple days ago on my community post. I've talked about it multiple times, but that's the most recent one. Is E1 Tribby an okay replacement for M-Blade for Gil? Uh, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be bad for sure. That works. To be honest, with the constant attack spam between Saber and Gil, you might be able to get like Tribby ult faster than usual. So yeah, especially with E1 Tribby, because that's at least a little closer to Blade's level of amp. It wouldn't be bad at all. You can definitely get away with it. E1 Tribby is dead. No, not really. E1 Tribby can still work in quite a few teams. And especially with the gimmick, she's always going to be very good for endgame modes like Pure Fiction with her E1. I've always said this. It's different for generalists getting power crept by another generalist because they can still go in whatever team. You can put one generalist in one team, one generalist in the other. But this doesn't apply to niche characters. If you power creep Jalki out of an Acheron team, he literally has no teams left. That's why generalist support power creep doesn't really matter that much. Like, people still use Ruan Mei to this day. You know? Cough, cough, me. Cough, cough, me. I use Ruan Mei on, I think, literally every single one of my accounts still. Because of the fact that she's free on the token, so. Yeah, E1 Tribby works really well with Asheville plus Blade, yeah. That's like their strongest team currently. All right, chat. I am gonna end the stream here. I wanted to talk a little more, but for some weird reason, I have a raging headache. Like I'm genuinely sorry. I wish I could have talked more. Hope you all have a great day. Hope you all have a great night. Thanks for stopping by.